Before we get into today's video, I would like to give a shout out to 3 of our newest subscribers. Taylor Line, D Laser, and Neokian. Thank you for subscribing, and welcome to the family. Now without further ado, let us get on with today's video. Greetings, my dear viewers. Welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons Character Concept Deep Dive. We take a look at some of the strangest combinations of class, race, and background that have ever been seen, and see what we can do with those ideas. Today we're actually looking Today we are actually looking at Lycanthropes. Much like with the last time we took a look at some weird concepts for characters, with the Mimic, we are trying to figure out how to play as a Lycanthrope. Werewolf, werebear, wereboar, whatever. And there are a lot of different options to play as a Lycanthrope. One such thing being the Grim Hollow campaign setting, where they have a lot of different things for transformations, whether that be a transforming into a lich, transforming into a celestial, a demon, or, in the case of this video, a Lycanthrope. And I get it. Nobody wants to do that. It's a little on the complicated side, though I might do a video on that subject in the future, if anyone is interested. The next option we have is a homebrew supplement that I found while researching this very video. Von Richten's Treatise on Lycanthropy. It has a lot of information on just lycanthropy, as well as some new lycanthropes that you can turn into. A were-serpent, or even a were-walrus, were-bat, whatever. I feel like there's some sort of reference for the were-walrus, but I don't know what it is. But yes, anyway, there are actual lineages for the lycanthrope as player characters. You have your true lycanthropes and your infected lycanthropes. And you actually are able to use these different stats for your character. But I get it. Some dungeon masters don't want you to use homebrew, which is totally fine. I get it. I don't like allowing homebrew most of the time either, because some of it can be unbalanced, or just doesn't make any sense. Totally fine. So, what's another option? Well, there is the Blood Hunter class, which has a subclass known as Order of the Lycanthrope. I actually covered Blood Hunters a lot on this channel. Well, not a lot, but enough. And they're a very good idea of what you can do to become a lycanthrope. Oh, right. Some dungeon masters don't consider the Blood Hunter as a core material class, even though it is. So, what do we have? What option do we have left? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Starting things off with the werewolf, the lycanthropic curse, which can be found in the monster manual. It actually has a small little sidebar for players becoming lycanthropes. So we can actually use this as a base to figure out our stats. So we'll use the point buy system like we do for all of our stats. Strength and dexterity will be a 14. Constitution will be a 13. Wisdom and intelligence will both be a 10, with charisma being a 12, because you are trying to hide your lycanthropic self from the world, from your village, from someone. So you need to be able to hide it, be deceptive, be sneaky. And as you can see over here on the right, I actually have my reasoning for having dexterity and strength being the highest stat. Werewolves, werebears, wereboars, and even the were-tiger have a very high strength score, with were-rats being a high dexterity. And I would imagine this being the same case for other lycanthropes that aren't in our monster manual, like a were-shark, or a were-crocodile, or the were-viper, having different stats, either strength or dexterity, being the higher of the scores. So, next what? What can we work with as far as races? Well, there is one. The Shifter. We actually talked about the Shifter not too long ago over on Character Concept Classic, where we went over the lore to see what classes best fit a Shifter. And they are known as the Were-Touched. They are the descendants of Lycanthrope, which is amazing. It's perfect for the purposes of this build. So we'll go ahead and grab the Shifter. There is another race that I have covered in another one of my videos, the Lythari Elf, which are able to turn into wolves. No wolf-elf hybrid, just straight up wolf, from elf to wolf. So that would be another option if your Dungeon Master does not mind the Unearthed Arcana. Anyway, the Shifter gives us a +2 to our strength and a +1 to our charisma. We get a speed of 30 feet, bestial instincts, dark vision for 60 feet, and shifting. And depending on what lycanthrope you're trying to mirror will depend on your shifting capabilities. The Beast Hide, the Swift Stride, the Long Tooth, and the Wild Hunt. And again, there are some Unearthed Arcana versions. Some Unearthed Arcana shifts, if you will, that could give you what you want. This is up to your Dungeon Master if he or she will allow for homebrew / Unearthed Arcana. Now for our background. There are two backgrounds that make the most sense. The first one being for characters such as the Werebear that are secluded so that they can't inflict anybody with their curse, but also to still be a part of nature, the Hermit. This will give you skill proficiency in medicine and religion, tool proficiency in the herbalism kit and one language of your choice, with the feature discovery. I guess this could count as your lycanthropic lineage being your discovery. The second one being the Outlander, and this gives you skills in athletics and survival, a tool proficiency of one musical instrument of choice, and of course one language of choice, and your feature is Wanderer, which lets you forage for food twice as well as the average individual. Now for class, and we're going to start things off with Barbarian, and we're going to skip straight into level 3 so that we can pick our subclass. For our Barbarian, since we're at level 3, we have 3d12 hit dice. At first level, our hit points are 12 plus our Constitution modifier, with hit points after the first being increased by 1d12 plus Con modifier per Barbarian level. For your proficiencies, you have light armor, medium armor, shields, simple weapons, martial weapons, strength and constitution saving throws, and for your 2 skills, intimidation and perception will work just fine. You have your rage feature, unarmored defense, which is 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your constitution modifier. You also have reckless attack and danger sense. And for our primal paths, there's actually 2 primal paths we can go over. Primal path of the beast, and primal path of the totem warrior. Which you can do totem warrior for a lot of different lycanthropes, but the beast actually gives you some features for those lycanthropes that are a little bit more rare, like a walrus, a shark, crocodile, what have you. Though if you're looking for a flying lycanthrope, like a were-raven or a were-bat, I would recommend going with the totem warrior, since the path of the beast does not allow for flying. When you choose the path of the beast, you get form of the beast, which lets you get some features of your choice. Either a bite attack that lets you regain health, a claw attack that lets you do an additional claw attack as a part of that action, or was it bonus action? Anyway, you also get your primal path tome of the totem warrior, which gives you spirit seeker and a totem spirit. The bear totem would actually be perfect for this type of build. And of course, just for being a 3rd level barbarian, you get your primal knowledge. You get to choose another one of your barbarian skills to become proficient in. We'll just grab nature. Level 4 barbarians get an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your wisdom by 2. Level 5 barbarian gets extra attack and fast movement, increasing your speed by an extra 10. Now, 6th level barbarians get another path feature. Path of the Beast gives you bestial spirit, which will let you get those odd lycanthropic combinations like a were-shark or a were-crocodilian, with the ability to have a swim speed equal to your walking speed, and you can breathe underwater. Then you have another feature you can choose as part of your bestial spirit in case you wanted to, say, be a were-spider, I guess. You gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed, and you can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. And then you have this last one, the when you jump, you can make a strength acrobatics check to extend your jump by a number of feet equal to the check's total. You can make this special check only once per turn, which is pretty decent. You also have your Path of the Totem Warrior aspect of the beast. If you go with Tiger, it's going to be a little bit more like a lycanthrope, because you'll get more skills, acrobatics, and stealth. Eagle will give you a better vision range, and Wolf just lets you do a little bit more tracking, which makes sense. But, like I said, I think Beast Barbarian is going to be the better option, especially if you want a little bit more versatility. Like with this jump feature, you can make yourself either with this jumping feature, you can technically become a were-rabbit. Strange, but hey, whatever you like. But yeah, like I said, there are some good features here. Personally, I'd go with that Beast Barbarian just so you can have that swimming speed and get some interesting combinations for lycanthropes. For a level 7 Barbarian, you get Feral Instinct and Instinctive Pounce. Level 8 Barbarian gets an ability score increase. Go ahead and pick Wisdom to increase by 2 more points. Now, if you had been able to get the Lythari Elf, or if you do not care about changing into a full-blooded animal of your lycanthropic ancestry, you're good here. You can just go straight ahead, full Barbarian, no questions asked. However, another part of the lycanthropes within Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is that not only can they choose a hybrid form to transform into, but you can also quote-unquote polymorph into the animal your lycanthrope is based on, where wolf transforms into a wolf, where bear becomes a bear, where shark can become a shark. So how do we get that? Well, that is a multi-class into Druid. You'll get Druidic and your spellcasting feature of Wisdom modifier. With level 2 Druid, you get your Wild Shape, your Wild Companion, which is basically a familiar. Well, not basically, it is the Find Familiar spell. And you also get your Druid Circle. I am going to go with Circle of the Moon, simply for those circle forms getting an increase to the maximum their CR can have. At second level, you can now be a CR1 creature, but you still have to keep to the limitations of no flying and no swimming. So, if you just wanted to be a werewolf, you can stick to just 2 levels of Druid, and that'd be it. If you wanted a swimming speed, like with a shark or a crocodile, 4th level, and then you'll be good. But for those rare instances where you have a flying transformation, you'll need to go for the full 8 levels, which we will do for the purposes of this build. Barbarian level 9 gets Brutal Critical. Level 10 Barbarian gets another path feature. For Path of the Beast, you get Infectious Fury, and for Path of the Totem Warrior, you get Spirit Walker. And your Primal Knowledge will have a new skill dependent on what background you have chosen, since those are the only ones remaining. Level 4 Druids gets an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your Constitution and Charisma each by 1 point, so you can round both of them off. For level 6 Druid, you get Primal Strike. The attacks from your Wild Shape now count as magical attacks, so pretty good. For Druid level 8, you get an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your Dexterity to a 16, just so the 2 stats are a little bit more even. Level 11 Barbarian gets Relentless Rage, and level 12 Barbarian gets an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your Constitution to a 16. Now, that's the end of the build, but not the end of the video. Since we did choose Druid, we have some spells to go over, and I tried to keep things as simple as possible without deviating too much from the Lycanthrope feel. So, for your cantrips, you have Gust, Primal Savagery, and Resistance. Resistance to increase your saving throw capabilities, Primal Savagery to give you another more powerful unarmed strike attack, Gust to kind of reference the big bad wolf, I will huff and I will puff and I will blow your house down. First level spells we have Beast Bond, Jump, Longstrider, Speak with Animals, and Thunder Wave, in case you wanted a very powerful howl. For second level, you have Enhance Ability, Locate Animals or Plants. You also have Pass Without Trace, to help you be a little bit more stealthy. You also have third level spells of Conjure Animals and Dispel Magic. I chose conjure animals because there are some lycanthropes that are able to call forth allies. Not that many, but yeah, it kind of works. Dispel magic just to have another option for spellcasting. It's the only one that made sort of sense. But anyway, how did you enjoy the video? I feel like I rambled a little bit too much. But with that being said, I do hope you still enjoyed this build. And if you wanted to check out the Mimic, please do so. That was actually one of my favorite concepts to go over, as far as being able to play as one of the monsters within Dungeons & Dragons. This build, it was alright. I just wish that certain features didn't exist, or just existed as like a feat, just to make things a little bit easier to create some of these crazy character combinations. I had thought about going with Tavern Brawler or even the unarmed fighting style, just so you can have the chance of grappling your quote-unquote prey. But that kind of didn't make sense because we also needed some ability score improvements in order to still be viable as a lycanthrope build. But anyway, that's a different topic. With that being said, this has been Drehan, and I am offline.